Bethesda is doing something. A couple of days ago, they posted this big announcement for Fallout Day 2024. And since they've been doing a countdown for this event, in their tweet, they described this as their first ever Fallout Day broadcast. So now a lot of fans are wondering, is this a countdown to some kind of new game announcement? Could we see a Fallout 3 remaster, or potentially even a Fallout 5 tease? I mean, hey, we did get our first look at the Elder Scrolls 6 over 6 years ago now. Maybe they're just doing the same for Fallout 5. And hopefully here I could provide some needed context for this one. Because right off the bat, an important distinction is Fallout Day is really a bit of a rebrand. In years past, they would do something on October 23rd, aka the day the bombs dropped in the Fallout universe, but this has always been labeled as Bombs Drop Day. It really became a thing with Fallout 76, and they often have in-game events tied to this. But in 2024, we are getting the first Fallout Day. So with the rebrand and substantial increase in marketing that we're seeing, many fans are wondering if something more could come as a result of that. We've seen several other notable industry names talking about this event and even getting hyped over what could be shown, and in the tweet itself, they are relatively vague. They continue on to say that this will feature John Rush and Bill Lacoste, two of the leads on Fallout 76, who will give us a glimpse at what they've been working on with Fallout 76. Beyond that, there's also going to be the Fallout for Hope hosted community parade, because yes, as a part of this, there's also going to be a charity drive and parade for St. Jude's, including several members of the community getting brief features. Hey, maybe I'll even make an appearance during this one.
In 1994, one man had an idea that started with the engine to power it. That game was Fallout. That man was Tim Kaine, who later called it the game that almost never was.
So while Bethesda has definitely done some charity initiatives like this in the past, things do feel a lot more substantial this time around. We're getting custom pack shots, in-game notifications that this event will be happening, and of course this countdown on Twitter, which they really only do around some major game releases. Bethesda typically didn't do this much for some of their past charity drives. And this countdown has also got some fans wondering. As of right now, the only 2 days to get big countdown numbers are 5 days away and 3 days away. Many fans are now curious and drawing connections. Could we actually see a Fallout 5 tease or mention? Or perhaps a bit more realistic, that rumored Fallout 3 remaster? Is that why the 3 and 5 are so prominently shown? It also could just be odd numbers, so they'll do 5, 3, and 1. But hey, let's actually consider this for a second. I think there is a chance we get a tease of something new and unexpected here, but I also think many of you are setting your sights a little bit too high with this one. Like yeah, getting a tease at Fallout 5 would be awesome. Maybe that is why the countdown started off with day 5. As well as I have seen a surprising number of people that genuinely think we could get something around Fallout 5 here. But in reality, I would say that there's a less than 1% chance that we actually see anything around Fallout 5 or even see it mentioned. As things stand right now, Fallout 5 is still many years away, and technically Todd Howard did say a couple of years ago that Fallout 5 might not even be the next game after the Elder Scrolls 6. They could do something else before Fallout 5. More recent reports have said that Microsoft wants a new Fallout game out as fast as possible, which also could include Bethesda not even making the next Fallout game. So with that in mind, I have to imagine that Microsoft's kind of putting the pressure on and Fallout 5 will be next after the Elder Scrolls 6, but I still don't think it'll be here. We still don't even have many details on the Elder Scrolls 6, so I don't think there's any way we're getting major details or even a tease of Fallout 5 before that. Bethesda is not a company that teases things in advance, so I think it's incredibly unlikely they start teasing the game that's 2 away before they start teasing the game that's next. But I think many fans are on that page. They realize that, yeah, we're probably not going to be seeing Fallout 5 here. And in reality, a lot of the hope I'm seeing is around potential other Fallout projects that could be seen. The TV show has been this weird X factor for Fallout. The games right now are peaking in player counts, but Microsoft didn't really seem to expect that the games would get this much attention, and as such, didn't have much going as far as new releases to capitalize on the TV show hype. Because at the end of the day, Microsoft's not getting the bulk of the money from the Fallout TV show. The people who made the show are. The way Microsoft or Bethesda can really profit off the TV show is having games to release side by side with it or updates for their games to capitalize on that audience. So based off the fact that earlier in 2024, really just a few months ago now, we were seeing reports that Microsoft wants something Fallout related out ASAP, does heavily suggest that the next Fallout game is still a ways away. The reason they're talking about other developers working on a potential Fallout game is because they seemingly don't have a project in the works already, or at least not one that's anywhere near release. Because otherwise, why would you even have this conversation? If you have a game that's right next to the finish line, you'd probably just release that one and wouldn't be saying you need a new game out ASAP. Although, with that in mind, I could definitely see some of the pieces of that start to move if Microsoft actually did find a third-party developer to work on Fallout that isn't named Bethesda. Perhaps they do a high-level tease of that at this event, very Elder Scrolls 6-esque, like let's say they did actually get Obsidian to work on a new Fallout game. We could get the title reveal here, as well as Obsidian Entertainment being the developer. That would of course get fans really excited for the future of Fallout. It'd probably be one of the most exciting things they could announce. But also, it could be quite lucrative to get a lot of talent interested in working at Obsidian and really working on this new Fallout game. The problem with this theory being is that this is a Bethesda Game Studios event through and through. It's not like Microsoft's hosting Fallout Day, Bethesda is, and Bethesda Game Studios specifically. I really just can't imagine we see a tease for a new Fallout game from some other developer here. And for me at least, I would put that at a less than 5% likelihood. Bethesda hasn't always been the biggest on sharing the stage. What perhaps has the most hope behind it is this leaked Fallout 3 remaster. It popped up on a leaked Bethesda roadmap that was leaked by Microsoft themselves during the FTC trial just last year, and a lot of fans think this one does have potential. The roadmap even lists the Fallout 3 remaster as a fiscal year 2024 release, and well, yeah, it is 2024, so could we actually see this one? Well, the main concern with this is this roadmap is incredibly out of date. It was originally created all the way back in the summer of 2020 as buyout talks were happening. Then the company, that being Bethesda, was bought out by Microsoft. So this roadmap is already 4 years old. It was made in 2020. But there was also a major catalyst shortly after the roadmap was drafted. The company is under new ownership, which could totally change up this schedule. And even just looking at some of the dates on this one, a lot of things were delayed. Starfield didn't drop in 2021 last time I checked. And then considering you have this Oblivion remaster slated to release 2 full years before the Fallout 3 remaster, and we haven't heard anything about Oblivion, makes me think that no, the Fallout 3 remaster is not likely to be here. Like, even if we assume that Bethesda really is working on one of these remasters, or both of them, it doesn't really make any sense for a Fallout 3 remaster to be ready so early. Everything else on this roadmap got delayed, and even further, as we just talked about, Microsoft was highlighting a few months ago how they had a lack of Fallout content coming up. This quote feels really weird if they secretly had a Fallout 3 remaster that was almost ready for release. So who knows, maybe the Fallout 3 remaster could be here, but I too think this is incredibly unlikely. One thing that I think could appear here that many people probably aren't expecting is a potential Fallout 4 update. I don't necessarily think this would get a trailer or anything major like that, but as many of you know, Fallout 4 has been left in a largely broken state since the next-gen update from earlier this year. You can check out this video for more details on that. But I have heard from some sources that Bethesda does have plans to address this. It seems like the team who are wrapping up Shattered Space could be partially repurposed to address some of the lingering Fallout 4 issues. As of right now, there still is no movement on SteamDB for Fallout 4, and there hasn't been any movement in well over a month, so it doesn't seem like this update would be coming out imminently or even all that soon, but perhaps the team that finished up Shattered Space will drop a post-launch update for the DLC, and then subsequently move over to finally fixing Fallout 4. Bethesda having a throwaway comment around this, or the fact that they are going to do this at Fallout Day, seems possible to me, but even still, I would say it's relatively unlikely, as it would just draw attention to some of the issues with Fallout 4, and they don't want to be doing that at the Fallout celebration. That next-gen update was definitely not a high point for this company this year. But something that was a high point for the year is the Fallout TV show, and this is something I could see get some mentions at Fallout Day 2024. The Fallout TV show is restarting filming in just a few weeks now. Jonathan Nolan just recently gave a talk at Screen Ireland last week, and during this talk he said Fallout Season 2 filming would begin in 4 weeks. This was shared via a Reddit post, but I'm not as trusting, so I actually did get a separate attendee to confirm that yes, this was mentioned, and subsequently we've seen other actors confirm that filming for the show will resume at some point in November, which perfectly lines up with that 4-week comment. It'd be roughly mid-November. I have a full video on what you can expect from Fallout Season 2 coming soon, so definitely get subscribed for that, but an official tease that yes, filming is resuming with perhaps some kind of screenshot or something small definitely could be here. They're likely going to want to highlight the insane success of the show anyway, so having some kind of graphic with Season 2 to go along with that makes sense to me. A new trailer seems very unlikely considering, again, they haven't even started filming, so it's not like they'd have new footage to show off, but nonetheless, I would say there's a 50-50 chance at something Fallout TV show related being shown here. And at the very least, with filming resuming in just a few weeks now, we're going to be getting leaks. We got a ton of leaks from Season 1 filming, so get subscribed because I will be keeping you up to date with everything and anything happening around the Fallout TV show. But then we could just listen to Bethesda, because there is one thing they did say they will actually be teasing here, and that's Fallout 76's future. Fallout 76 has had some really exciting updates on the horizon for a while now. I will likely get a preview of these at Fallout Day. Gleaming Depths is the next update. It's coming at some point in December. A proper release date as well as a trailer showing this one off seems incredibly likely. It's going to be some new endgame raid content for Fallout 76. It's on the PTS right now, and well, no, it's not more story content that many fans will love. These are still really fun and a really good addition to this game. The new raids are genuinely difficult. It's almost a mandatory team effort to successfully do these ones. At least for most players, some people already have soloed these. But this is one of those things that even if you don't necessarily love it personally, it's just a good update for Fallout 76. It needed more endgame content, and this is some quality endgame content. And more importantly, it's a formula they can come back to make more content going forward. Beyond that, we know early into 2025, a playable ghoul option will be added into the game as well. We'll likely see some teases around this, including details on what types of new builds or even perk options will be available as a ghoul. I'm pretty excited for the ghoul. I think we're starting to see a bit of classification in Fallout 76, where different playstyles will have different pros and cons, and that's exciting to me, especially when you look at raids and you might always want to have at least one ghoul player. Imagine a couple years from now you could have a ghoul, a super mutant, as well as a human player. The ghoul is a pretty big deal overall, and I would definitely expect some teases or details around that update here as well. Beyond that, I think it's plausible that we'll learn more about their 2025 plans. Fallout 76 stopped doing roadmaps a couple of years ago, but this past year we've seen more content than ever, and it seems like there's just a lot more investment in this game, so perhaps a roadmap could come back. Because I think the real reason we are getting the Fallout Day rebrand and increased amount of hype around all this is budgets. So something not a lot of fans may know is in past years, as Fallout charity drives or even other initiatives were done, there was a ton of red tape around all of this. Whether it was coming from Bethesda or Microsoft, but just generally speaking, the Bethesda involvement came with some limitations. Conversely, in 2024, a lot of those limitations went away. A lot of this was thanks to the Fallout TV show and subsequent success for all of the games, and it was really right around that time the Microsoft report of wanting new Fallout content out sooner came out, but it became quite clear that Fallout overall got a budget increase, and I think a lot of creators can recognize this, where all of a sudden Microsoft was more than happy to throw money at Fallout events. Earlier this year, there was a Fallout 76 hands-on that I was fortunate enough to be flown out to in London. This is the first time I have ever been invited to a Fallout event since the release of Fallout 76. Something definitely changed internally at Microsoft/Bethesda, and I think this new Fallout Day is a continuation of that. Because in years past, we just didn't see this amount of involvement from Bethesda and the community at once. It was either a Bethesda event or a community event, and yeah, there was some support each way, but this is the first time we're really seeing the full-on intermingling. Really two events both being hosted and advertised by Xbox and Bethesda, because the higher-ups are finally seeing that these things are worth it. I personally expect that this will continue into 2025 as the Fallout TV show continues to propel these games upwards, but there is a bit of an issue. Fallout got a budget increase, but making new content takes time. So while I do think internally at Bethesda, things are ramping up for all things Fallout, they don't necessarily have much to show from all of that yet. I think Fallout Day will largely just be a celebration of the Fallout community, raising money for charity, as well as a look ahead for Fallout 76. But this does represent something exciting. Fallout is getting more attention and budget from Microsoft and higher ups in meaningful positions. And this likely means that Fallout Day will continue to be a bigger and bigger deal for years to come, and one of these years they will actually have a new game to show. I just don't personally think that'll be this year. If you are interested in more Fallout content, check out this video. Otherwise, get subscribed for more coverage on all of this.